Hi everyone, welcome. My name's Shari and this is Practical Stitches. And today I'm going to talk to you about the dress that I've been making for Project Dress-a-Girl. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I am a Canadian ambassador for Dress-a-Girl around the world. And you have all been keeping me very busy to the point where I don't have time to sew. But I really do enjoy this pattern. I haven't seen anyone really mention it yet. And I thought you might find it interesting. Now, first of all, this is a pattern you have to purchase. It's not free. It's called the Bibi Dress. And you've seen this before. But this is the photograph, or the line drawing, I guess, of the dress. It comes in sizes 9 to 12 months to 13 years. And their size chart is in metric and inches. Yes. So I was looking for a pattern that had sleeves and just a little bit of a different design that I was interested in making, and I came across this pattern over the winter. So it's not really a new pattern, and I believe I found it on makerist.com. I will leave the link in the description below. And I only paid $2 for this, but it was on sale at the time. So what the actual price of it is, I will have to look up for you. But it's around the 5-6 pounds, I believe. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen what the actual price is. Now, so that's the downside. You have to pay for the pattern. It's not free, but it does have some size ranges, which is what I was looking for. And the other problem with this pattern is it is not exactly meet all the criteria of Dress-a-Girl if you make it according to the directions. And as you all know, I'm not really one to follow directions anyway. They're kind of like guidelines. So first off, you have to pay for the pattern, and then this is how it's printed out. It's layered. So you can see here how the sleeve is over top of the skirt pattern, and then you have the back bodice piece, and then you have another skirt pattern. And some of you are saying, oh no, I'm not doing that. And I don't blame you. So that's a downside to the pattern. But it does tell you, if you want to print out like a million sheets of paper, it does, which I don't really understand this little chart. I don't know if it means you have to print these pages off like 9 times, or I don't know. I think it means, no, I have no idea what it means. Anyway, I traced it. I traced the sizes that I wanted. And then I still have this to trace another time. It's not really that bad. But if you were going to trace it and wanted to use a marker, I would suggest using different colored markers for each size. And you also have to add seam allowance to this pattern. So another downside, so you have to not only trace a complicated layout, you also have to add seam allowance. So there's a couple, well, 3 negatives against this pattern already. Well, not everything can be free, but if you want the sizes, then but once you have it traced out, once you get past that, you have it forever. So And other than that, the dress is fairly simple to sew together. These are the type of directions that I really like. There's no, so if you want written instructions to go with your picture instructions, you're not going to get it. But I don't mind these instructions. Very straightforward, and it's not difficult to sew together. So it does have binding on the neckline, but then it wants you to add buttons for closure in the back. Very simple. You just lengthen your binding piece when you add it. So that I sewed on all in one piece. So when I did the neckline, I start in the middle and sew around to the end. Flip your binding, whichever way you're going to do it. This one I did on the inside. You can see my stitching line here. So if that makes sense at all, I don't know. But I really like the design of pattern. I like these sleeves, which you could make a little bit longer. But I just thought it was really cute. So the two things that don't meet Project Dress a Girl criteria was the button in the back, and the pattern does not come with pockets. Pockets are fairly easy to add. So I kind of added them a little bit to the side of the dress. And the fabric layout of this looks here. Looks like there's all kinds of room to get pockets out of this. I'm pretty sure I cut the amount that it told me to for fabric, and this fabric is only 45 inches wide, which I knew and paid attention to, so I don't know if maybe it was going by different measurement, but I had a hard time getting the pockets out of what was left, so I had to piece the pockets together. There is I don't know if you can see that very well. That is the selvage. The writing on the selvage, I had to sew it together down the center, and I tried to match it. It just wasn't big enough to cut this little square out of the fabric that was left, which is kind of good because you use up quite a few pieces. I don't think I have a lot of fabric left. And it could be the way I cut it out, because I probably didn't follow that layout. You know that I didn't. Anyway, so those are the only two things to meet the criteria, is to make sure you have pockets, which I added, and the fabric ties in the back. So I just added those there, and I did add them here, but they aren't really necessary. So you need about 10 inches to tie a nice bow in the dress. I mostly put it there just in case, like, something happens, but it's really unnecessary. The one at the neckline is probably enough. And so I thought those were pretty easy fixes. I didn't have to do a lot of figuring out. So there, that's all tied up in the back. And I think that is a really cute dress. So just So this is the one I'm working on right now out of this Ankara fabric that is available in my shop. So I tried to fussy cut it a little bit. See, you can see the writing on the selvage here. And so now I just have to sew on the binding on the neckline. So I'm going to start in the middle. You see my pin there. So that's the middle. So I found the middle of my binding. I didn't even measure it. I just sewed it together. It looks long enough. I'm going to start in the middle, and you can pin it 1,000 times if you want to. But that is definitely going to be long enough. I'll probably have to cut some off. So you can, well, you can measure it if you like. But I know that that is more than 10 inches right in the middle, I find. And you can finish your end off by folding. All very simple things. And then you can just sew right off the end of it. And you won't have any problems. So I have my, oh, the camera's on my pocket. So I have my pocket made, and I just have to place that on. Well, I have two of them actually. Oop. So I have two pockets ready to go, and yes. So I thought that that was a pretty good dress where you could change it without it being very complicated. You just had to add pockets and make sure you had fabric ties. And there's probably different ways to add the binding to the back, but I do have I did sew on the other two at the bottom as well. But other than that, I just really like this dress, and I really like the sleeves. I think they're really cute. So this will be a pretty dress once it's done, and then of course I have to add the label. So I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe it'll give you some ideas of, maybe you already have this pattern and thought you couldn't use it, but some pretty easy changes to make it fit the criteria for dress requirements. So I will see you all Friday night for hopefully some more dress unboxing. That will be the last one from me for this month. I know Mari's doing a couple more, but that will be the last one that I'll be doing. So hopefully all the dresses come in on time, and I will see you Friday night, internet permitting, because I had some problems with the internet last week, but hopefully this week it'll be better. See you then. Bye.